Hi everybody, welcome to the Handmaidens. Today I'm outside in the garden and getting ready to plant some fall bulbs. If you want to learn some tips and tricks and maybe want to give me some tips and tricks, you come along and hang out with me. It's the end of September. I don't even know what the date is. I think it's what is it, Mondo? 29th, 30th? It's whatever it is. It's late in September, and we're living here in zone 5, and we're going to get a frost tonight. Like, woo! Let's bring on. Winter is coming, folks. I don't know if I can say that. If I'm copyrighted, that's from Game of Thrones. Sorry. Anyhow, let's get to what's going on here. Every year, I plant bulbs, usually on the equinox. I didn't do it this year. I was doing something else. Maybe I was making chili. I don't know what I was doing. But I do it every year because every single spring I enjoy the benefit of having yet a bigger, brighter garden. I'm not a professional gardener. I'm not even a good gardener. I'm just a garden enthusiast, and I want to do stuff that makes it so when I'm getting down to the end of that winter and I just cozy season isn't doing it for me anymore, and I'm starting to feel a little bit, maybe I got cabin fever, or maybe I got getting depressed even. I go outside and there are some spring blooms. And every year I go, all right, that isn't even enough. It's not enough. It'll get to be enough eventually, maybe. Because the good thing about planting bulbs, I like to plant them in the fall so that I have them in the spring. And the good thing about that is when you plant them, is that they make baby bulbs too. So it's an investment. You start planting some and then they start growing. If you have never, ever planted a bulb and you have a little piece of dirt that you can call your own or borrow from somebody else or go out and park, put some in, and the excitement and the reward you get in the spring is, it is priceless. It's not a big investment. This year I got kind of a big investment because I kind of went overboard and got a lot, if you can see, a lot of stuff here. We're going to go over what I have in here. Some stuff. For the first time ever, I've planted bulbs for a lot of years. For the first time ever, I'm going to use something I've never done before. I'm going to use yeah, that's right. Some sort of bulb flower food. This is organic, so I'm not so petrified of it. Usually, I dig the hole, put the bulb in, call it a day, and see it in the spring. Now, for whatever reason, they say plants requiring bulb tone, and I am not sponsored by Bulb Tone, but if they want to sponsor me, you go right ahead. Daffodils, tulips, hyacinths, crocus, iris, jonquils, snowdrops, narcissus, lilies, gladioli, dahlias, caladiums, tuberous begonias, gloxinias, scillas, I don't even know what they are, peonies, anemones, and canna lilies, I imagine. Those things would benefit from some food. We're going to put this in when we're planting. Another thing I got, this I heard online, this is maybe it replicates the same thing, but this is bone meal, which really provides phosphorus for bulbs and other flowering plants. Organic again. It said made with solar power. I don't know what that means. I don't want to ask what bone meal is really. Does it come from bones? Epsom bone meal is an ideal supplement for bulbs, flowers, roses. You can use Epsoma bone meal with the confidence that you have chosen the very best. Epsoma, the most trusted name in organics since 1929. Okay, that sounds like an ad. But once again, I'm not sponsored, but I'm going to throw that in the hole too. Okay, something else I have. I have new gloves because they said Guardian Angel on there, so I thought that might be nice. I like anything that says Guardian Angel. Usually, I don't use gloves when I garden. I like to touch the dirt, but just so happens that there's some toxins in like hyacinths and stuff, and you should probably wear bulbs when you're planting them. These are not typically my colors. It was the only hyacinths. I have all purple hyacinths. So I'm going to have to find a special. I got a little special spot over by the with little area that I have for the kids that I'm a little more lenient with colors. Typically in my garden, if I could have all just like black flowers, I would. Then they turn into blue, then purple, and then, yeah, you know, I like a monochromatic garden, but it gets a little, needed a pop color. So I added yellow in there, and every now and then you see a little bit of almost orange and whatever. We go with it. There's a little bit of variety. Spring, cottage gardens that have all the pastels. Oh my God, beautiful. I wish I'd chosen that, but I didn't. So I've got sort of a darker, more subtle. And once upon a time I had a white moon garden out front, and I don't think I have a white flower out there anymore. Things have changed over the years. So this is called Tequila Sunrise Mixture. That sounds yummy. I have these guys. I have no idea what they are. They're pushkin. They look sort of like paper whites. If anybody knows what that is, put in the comments below. I just found it because it said the most important thing. The most important thing. Deer resistant. I happen to live where there are so many deer. You can't even. I'll have 6 or 7 deer in my yard. I'll go right out, yell, "Hey, you, get out of here!" And they don't either. Like, yeah, you go. They don't care. I have daffodils and daffodils. Yep, and more daffodils. Why so many daffodils? I'll tell you, I never planted daffodils before. I have some, but for years I didn't because I don't really. Narcissus, the sunshine mix. Also, daffodils are narcissus, but these ones have the white, which is traditionally narcissus. So I've got Dutch iris, cuties, and then the only thing I really want is really these tulips. Tulips, more tulips. As you can see, I like purple tulips. They mean royalty. Royalty. And I have some allium. Not giant allium. These are a little on the smaller size. So, okay. And then, of course, I've got Irish Spring, because they say if you shred up some Irish Spring in the dirt, it might keep the moles away. Maybe it'll keep the deer away. I got all of the daffodils in hopes to keep the damn deer away, because I'm going to try and grow my tulips with daffodils near them. That, you know, whatever, that maybe that might work. I have some tools here. If you've seen this thing, we're going to show how you can dig that, keep a pot of the dirt in, put it back in the hole if you want to make a hole. I dug trenches. We also using Mondo's beautiful, whoops, sorry, excuse me. This drill, perfect for drilling holes and dropping a bulb in. If you put a bulb in a hole, you're going to have to push it down really deep. Okay, so let's get to what we're going to do first here. I don't know if you can see, but I have a big trench here. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you the most important, hold on, most important tool I have. This is something brand new, and I got it because I thought it made me look like a gardening ninja. This baby, maybe a plant pirate, how's that? But look at that. And this is a Hori knife, which is good for digging holes. And it's got, as you can see, it's got measurements right on there. So when I'm digging down here, I know that I got like 6 inches deep. Okay? That's important because you're going to determine how deep your bulbs are going to be by taking the measurement of the bulb. Let me see if I can cut this without cutting my arms open, my fingers open. I just cut my fingers doing dishes yesterday. Okay. So, take a bulb, and you measure it, and it says this is about a little over 2 inches. So you should be planting it 3 times the depth of the hole. There are some gigantic bulbs out there, huge. And quite frankly, the bigger the bulb, the better it is. So your bulbs will get bigger over time. But so if you're planting really tiny bulbs, I see some of these are itty bitty. You might not get flowers for a couple of years, but they're common. So you're going to go 3 times. So let's say this guy is going to go about a little over 6 inches. All right, let's say 7 inches. He's going to go down. You could go down as far as 12 inches on some, depending on the size of your bulb. And that's going to be good because it's going to protect it. The only problem is down underneath are the little guys like moles that like to eat them. Sometimes the squirrels like to dig them up, and that's why we're going to add the bone meal, or not the bone meal, the soap. Oh, I'm sitting on a gardening thing. I'm getting classy these days. I got this for my son. Steven got that for me. Present, and kneeling to help my old knees. My knees aren't that old yet. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start out with bulb tone. I'm just going to sprinkle it in our hole here. Give some food to the bulbs. And then we're going to put some bone meal in here. Okay, lots of that. Now, I'm going to try like one of these to show you how you could do it. You could just set these right in there, but let's just show. So that sort of makes a hole, and we could pop in. When you're putting in a bulb, the pointy end goes up. The bottom with the little root ends goes down. So that would go in there like that. And then you can cover that, or you can cover them when you're all done. This is deep enough that we could just sort of set some in there. We want to kind of screw them in there so they don't get like a lot of rot. Now, I'm going to mix these up because I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to try and trick the deer this year. And let me take these beautiful gloves off and put a toxic flower that they don't like near the ones they like. They love tulips. They love tulips and they love hostas. And I'm going to trick these guys. Hopefully, I should put these on. The toxins from the daffodils or the narcissus will deter them. Okay? Here's the thing. I never liked narcissus because they were equated with death. And I'm wondering if it was with death. See, that's kind of even big. Look, that's got 2 guys on there. I'm going to put him right in here. I'm wondering if it was because they're poisonous. They are toxic. And if that's what happened, again, see, you could easily see the roots. And then you can see the pointy top. We'll put that in over there. I'm going to plant mine closer than you probably should. You should probably do, 1.5 times the depth. Straighten them, spread them out, okay? Because they're going to make their own bulbs. I'm going to cheat and put them quite close this year because I really want a big array of color. And I'm going to throw them in with my tulips and see if I can't get, trick them. The thing about daffodils, when they said it was death, I wonder if somebody ever ate them. They are toxic to animals, to pets, to humans, okay? But they are not toxic to look at. They are beautiful. Many of the plants in our plant world are toxic. Not to touch, but if you ingest a certain amount. So I'll put in another random tulips in here and hope to goodness they don't get to it. Surrounded by some daffodils, and let's see if that doesn't do the trick. The other trick would be is if somebody gets rid of these darn whatchamacallit for me, the darn deer. Okay, something in legend, which is kind of cool. If you follow some of the traditions, if you know anything about Persephone and Hades, at the spring equinox, Persephone comes up out of the ground from where she's resided with her husband Hades and returns to her mom Demeter, and they spend a lot of time until the fall equinox where he sucks her back in. Apparently this whole arrangement started one day when she was admiring a daffodil. Persephone was this beautiful young maiden, and along came Hades' henchmen, and they snagged her up and took her to the underworld, where she's the queen of the underworld and darkness for 6 months out of the year, all because she was enchanted by a daffodil. So be careful staring at them too long. Also known by their other name, the narcissus, which you can imagine why they're toxic, because most narcissists are. Anyhow, there was in Greek mythology, there was a beautiful guy, this gorgeous dude, and his name was Narcissus, something like that. And he had a boyfriend. His boyfriend's name was Zephyr. Zephyr was in control of the west winds. And he had another guy that was into him, and that was Apollo. Apollo fell madly in love. Apollo was really lousy with luck and love. All sorts of tragic things happen to Apollo and whoever he fancies. And this great, cute little guy that he was like hanging out with made Zephyr so jealous. He's like, dude, I saw him first. And they were playing pitch and catch with, I don't know, what is that thing you throw out? Shoo! He threw it out. The Olympians do it. And he was showing how far he could throw it. And just said they're playing like Frisbee, but, 100 billion years ago at the time of gods. And all of a sudden, jealous Zephyr went whoo with the wind and blew it and smacked him right in the head and killed Narcissus dead. Apparently. Oh, Apollo was so sad, and wherever the blood drops came and the teardrops came, they formed a beautiful flower called the narcissus, the white narcissus. And they come in every year. They come in and remind him of his lost love. The other story is about this guy that was in love with himself and staring at himself in a pond, and this nymph named Echo, she was chasing him around, and she was in love with him, but he wouldn't stop looking at his reflection in the pond because he thought he was so darn beautiful. And what happened was he died looking at himself, and in the spot where he was became the flower, the narcissus, which is where we get the word from, people that are adorned with self-love. Anyhow, tulips are not like that. That's about love itself and passion and beauty and all the good things that one wants to have. And like I said, the purple ones are royal, the red ones are regular love, all those things. You'll find lots of legends and lore about spring flowers that we're going to plant in the fall. What we're going to do after we get enough of these in here, which we're about there for this little hole. I've got trenches everywhere. Oh my goodness. So we're going to have a lot of flowers. Then we're going to cover them up, right? And if we plant some smaller ones, let's say I want some smaller ones in here yet. Some of the small bulbs. What's a tiny bulb? Like some of these little Dutch Irish. once I put a layer in there, it's like 3 inches, then I can put the Dutch iris, these tiny guys, down and make a layer of them. So there be, you want the, you know, it's only 3 times their size, and these guys aren't barely an inch. So they can't go down more than like 3 inches. So they would go there, you put some dirt down, put some more organic matter down, then cover them up, and then put some mulch on. So let's do that. We'll just click back when we get the dirt back on. Okay, so I've got the little tiny irises stuck in here, as you can see. They're at the shallower level, and then we're going to put, we got bone meal here, but what we want to do is remember, the Irish Spring. We're going to put that in here because this is going to really upset some of this wildlife going, that doesn't smell like food. And soap actually happens to have a lot of phosphates and stuff, which are good for gardening and stuff. So that's not going to hurt them, but it may freak out the wildlife. Okay, so we're going to put lots in here to make sure that the underground creatures, the squirrels, anything that might be after, even the cats, might not be digging up these bulbs. Look how it looks, definitely doesn't look like nature, but that's going to wash and keep maybe the scent in there for a while. When the rains come in there, it'll get washed in there. Okay, then we're going to put another layer of soil on top, and then I'm going to top it off with some garden mulch that I had from trees cut down. I had to turn into mulch.
Go.
Okay, so we've got another layer of soil on top of those little guys. We've got some more soap on there. And then I'm going to cover it with my mulch that is from, it's not pretty. It's got leaves mixed in there and stuff and twigs. But it's going to be good nutrition. And it's going to keep it nice and warm for the winter or whatever. Protect it till it's ready to pop through. I'm also going to use this mulch that I have here on other things. This is a passion fruit that I have, and I want to keep it very protective. It's going to die off on its own, but I want to have lots and lots of mulch where that is for the cold that's coming. Okay, so that's about it. 3 times the size of the bulb. The pointy side goes up. Use bone meal or organic food. Use a little soap to keep the critters away. Cover with soil, top with mulch, and enjoy in the springtime. Okay, so I hope you had a good time. I hope you do it. Please tell me what you're planting in your garden this fall. I want to hear from you, okay? Until then, you have a great time. Keep living a simple life. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.